Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It's the first frost advisory of the season, but not everybody's likely to see frosty conditions. I'll show you where you're most likely to see it.
And today's your first chance to cast a vote in person for the 2024 election. What you'll need to bring with you to the polling place if you still need to get registered.
And in just 6 hours, the gates will open for this year's North Carolina State Fair. We'll look ahead at the big events at the fairgrounds today and over the next 10 days. Are you ready to get your fill of homegrown happiness? Well, good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock, and this is where you can get some homegrown news and weather. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making this part of your routine here. Things are going to feel a little bit different when you step outside this morning. Be ready for it. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. The frost advisory. Things are chilly.
It is a chilly morning out there again. Our western counties are more likely to see frosty conditions, specifically right down here in the Sandhills. Chatham, Lee, and Moore counties are where we're more likely to see frost than anywhere else. Here's why. We have some cloud cover from a system that's sitting just offshore, and that has spread farther west across our viewing area. The cloud cover holds in the daytime heating, and it doesn't allow our temperatures to cool as quickly. So, for example, here in the Triangle, it's 46 degrees. We are pretty far from seeing anything frozen here, but it was clear back to the west. So Siler City sitting at 37, Roxborough 41, 43 in Lewisburg, 41 Roanoke Rapids. There's some places they're getting closer to the 30s, but they're way ahead here in Sanford, 36, 37 in Robbins, and 39 in Southern Pines. So these temperatures may still drop a little bit, and they're much closer to having the potential for some frost there. A little breezy this afternoon and cool. We'll see winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour and our afternoon high just into the low 60s. But we're about to see a pattern change that brings some more warmth into the area. I'll show you when. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:02, all new into the WRAL Traffic Center. Our friends at Raleigh Wake 911 reporting this crash on Blue Ridge Road in the southbound lane near Reedy Creek Road. We're not seeing any problems in that particular area, but we'll keep an eye on it and let you know if it's going to affect you in any way. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, no major issues to report this morning, which is good news. Let's head outside, give you a live look at I-440 and Lake Boone Trail. This is a still count, but you can tell that traffic is flowing nicely in both directions. If you're getting ready to head out, we'll keep you updated. Take us with you. Listen to us on 101.5 HD3 anywhere in the Triangle, or you have a couple of options, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Police in Clayton are trying to figure out how a truck ended up in a muddy pond after an early morning crash. This happened near NC 42 and Castleberry Road around 3 a.m. Officers found the truck submerged in the water with a person still inside. There were no serious injuries. The driver was taken into custody. Investigators believe alcohol may be a factor.
Today is the first day you can cast your ballot for the 2024 election in person. Early voting sites in Wake County and most other places open at 8, which is just 2 hours away. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Herbert Young Community Center in Cary. And Kelsey, this year, Wake County voters have more early voting options than ever.
Yes, Renee, they sure do. Wake County has 22 early voting locations, and this one here in downtown Cary is historically one of the busiest locations that they have every election season. Here's what you need to know before heading to the polls for early voting. If you vote early, you can vote at any polling location in the county where you're registered. Also, people who want to use same-day voter registration during early voting need two things: proof of residency and an accepted form of photo ID. Your North Carolina driver's license can serve both needs if it shows your current address. This last one is for Wake County voters only. There is a wait time tracker you can use on the county website. So this way, it'll be a little bit easier for you to pick which early voting location works best for your schedule. The polls will be opening in the next couple of hours or so at 8 o'clock this morning, and the last day to early vote is November 2nd. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Make your plan to vote with the WRAL Voter Guide. Enter your address to find a sample ballot, our Q&A with candidates, check your voter registration and early voting times and places. Find it all on WRAL.com. Search Vote.
This morning, the man accused of shooting and killing 2 employees of a window cleaning business in Cumberland County on Tuesday is now dead. Authorities are working to learn why that shooting happened and whether the victims had any connection to the suspected shooter, Desmond Moore. WRAL confirmed just before 11 last night, Moore was killed yesterday afternoon in a shootout with police in Mount Airy. A Mount Airy Police Department canine was also killed in that shootout.
And Jeff, authorities identified the victims of Tuesday's shooting as 21-year-old Arthur Acosta and 32-year-old Taylor Duggins. Tributes from loved ones were posted online. A sister to Acosta wrote about how amazingly sweet and hardworking he is. The owner of NC Window Cleaning, the company the victims worked for, described Duggins as his right hand and such a great person. Duggins leaves behind a wife and 5 children. A 911 call made by the owner of the business describes the disturbing crime scene.
Laying on the side of the road, bleeding, but they're not responding. I tried to get them to respond. They're not responding, but I don't know if there's a shooter up there still or not. So I ran back to the house. Okay. But I need somebody here ASAP.
The sheriff's office released pictures of an unidentified female they say is wanted for questioning. It's unclear how or if she's connected.
Also, the Mount Airy Police Department released this photo of the canine that died in the shootout. In a Facebook post, the department says Canine Draco died as a hero and will be deeply missed. It is asking people to keep Draco's handler in their prayers.
New developments in the Middle East. Overnight, the U.S. struck 5 underground Houthi weapons storage facilities in Yemen. That's according to Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. The Houthis are an Iran-backed militia that have taken over part of Yemen. They've been launching attacks against shipping vessels in response to the war in Gaza and have announced support for Hamas. The facilities housed various weapons components that the Houthis have used to target civilian and military vessels in the Red Sea.
Another check of your freezer this morning. Millions of pounds of meat and poultry are under a recall now because of a listeria outbreak. The same type of outbreak that was tied to the Boar's Head deli meats that killed 10 people since May. This latest recall covers now about 12 million pounds of meat products and ready-to-eat meals from stores, schools, and restaurants across the country. Health experts say it is not much to worry about right now for average healthy adults, but it could be dangerous, though, for elderly, pregnant women, and the immunocompromised.
You know, it's probably typically not much more than a feverish gastro-type illness, muscle aches and pains, nausea and vomiting, and it's self-limited. But, you know, there's a small number of people for whom this is really potentially quite life-threatening.
Now, you can find a full list of affected products on WRAL.com, and if you have any in your freezer, just consider throwing it away. If you've eaten any of it recently, just monitor your symptoms and call a doctor if needed.
We are less than 6 hours away from the opening of the 2024 North Carolina State Fair. Somewhere around 1 million people will come through the gates over the next 11 days. WRAL's Brett Neese is live at the State Fairgrounds right now. And where you are, Brett, that's going to be packed in just a few hours.
It really will be, Renee. This is one of the busiest corridors here on all of the State Fairgrounds. And it's one of my favorite spots. Here's why. Because we got the cheese curd shack behind me. Can't go wrong with that. But then we have the Ginger House, and we got the chef back there cooking some donuts, making some pastries here this morning. He's getting the hat on, and he's ready to, oh, look at this. This is awesome. Putting on a show for us as he gets these pastries ready for people to come out here and enjoy. And then, of course, we got the fresh lemonade stand right here as well. I mean, there really is everything you could think of here at the State Fair. But this, I'm telling you, is one of the best spots to be in. Well, let me tell you some things, though, that you need to know before you get out here. There are a number of items on the list to make sure that you have in mind. Construction all around this area, around the State Fairgrounds, so make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get over here and parked and settled in. Get a ticket beforehand, though. Today is Wolfpack Day, so NC State students get that discounted ticket. But then online, you can get a cheaper ticket. Save yourself a few bucks before getting out here to one of the kiosks. And then security will be at every single gate. They have the clear bag policy in place. You got to go through the metal detectors and make sure that everybody is safe and sound as they get here into the State Fairgrounds. And then they also have Canned Food Day coming up in a few days as well. That's one of the discount days that we wanted to tell you about. And then the Hurricane Helene relief efforts. They really are putting an emphasis on that and the donations and the raising of money for hurricane victims. That's a big emphasis here this year. Homegrown happiness. We got all of that out here. Coming up in our next half hour, though, we'll tell you the best spots to park here at the State Fair. Live in Raleigh, Brett Neese, WRAL News.
So cheese curds, donuts, and lemonade, a breakfast for champions. Brett, thank you. WRAL has your guide for parking, saving money, and when you can meet your WRAL favorites. Our ultimate guide to the 2024 North Carolina State Fair is on our homepage at WRAL.com.
And be ready for what you're getting into if you're around that area in the next 10 days. If you plan to be at the Lenovo Center, for instance, this weekend or next weekend, you're encouraged to get there early because of that fair traffic. Comedian Jeff Dunham and pop star Sabrina Carpenter have shows there this weekend. Next weekend, Little Big Town and Rainbow Kitten Surprise. They are in town. You are encouraged to carpool if possible. The doors open an hour before each event. We're 10 after 6, and concerns are being raised about mail-in ballots after some people received theirs in the mail already sealed. What elections officials say caused this sticky situation.
And fans and musicians around the world are mourning the death of Liam Payne. Just an hour ago, those 911 calls were released. What police are saying happened. And meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has a look at our State Fair weather forecast. Beautiful, but a little chilly.
Yeah, the coldest day of the next 7 is today as we open up the State Fair. Some chilly nights ahead, but I'll show you the pattern change that's going to almost bring summer back coming up.
Tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio in Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14. It looks a little spooky here in Zebulon this morning. You take a look at the town hall and you can see some clouds and the moon there up behind it. So the cloud cover is keeping our temperatures warmer. Clouds overnight act as an insulating blanket, and it doesn't allow our daytime heating to escape the atmosphere into the atmosphere quite as quickly. So some warmer temperatures: 43 in Lewisburg, 41 Tarboro, 40 Irwin, 45 in Rocky Mount. Of course, it is 6:15. We will continue to see temperatures dropping for about another hour. There are a lot of places that aren't going to be coming too close to the 30s, but Southern Pines is at 39. We're clear down in the Sandhills, and we are seeing colder temperatures there. I'll show you what it feels like right now and how close we'll be to freezing this afternoon, near 60.
What's happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center? We're just monitoring one incident right now. Just there near the Cary area, we're talking about a crash on Blue Ridge Road near Trinity Road. It's actually a Reedy Creek in the southbound lane, not causing any problems in that particular area this morning, so nothing to worry about. Just thought you should know about it. Elsewhere, all the major routes are delayed for you this morning. If you're getting ready to head out in the car, take us with you on the radio, 101.5 HD3, anywhere in the Triangle. You can also listen to us on 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham. And of course, I'll have another update, Jeff, in about 10 minutes.
All right, Ken, look forward to it. Of course, in-person voting starting today, but voters in several counties are wondering why envelopes containing their absentee ballots arrived at their homes already sealed. Chatham, Durham, and other counties are experiencing this issue, and officials are blaming the humidity from Hurricane Helene for this problem. Some voters are worried about the security of their ballots and whether they'll be counted.
That was very concerning because we're worried that potentially it could be considered tampering, or, you know, if the envelope seemed dripped and we put our ballot in there.
Now, state officials are advising people if both envelopes are sealed, they should contact their county board of elections to get a new ballot delivered. We have more information on what voters should do and the questions we are posing to officials. Just go to WRAL.com for that.
People affected by Helene who have filed for unemployment will soon see their payments go up. Governor Roy Cooper signed an executive order that increases the maximum weekly payment from $350 to $600. Unemployment benefits are capped at 12 weeks, but workers who lived or worked in the affected counties can qualify for up to 26 weeks of federal benefits.
This was a shock, outpouring of shock and grief from musicians and fans around the world after One Direction bandmate Liam Payne died yesterday. Just an hour ago, the 911 calls were released. And WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here now with what we're learning about all this. Michelle.
Yeah, Jeff, this is so sad, but we have a major update. Fans did gather to pay their respects outside of the hotel where Payne was staying in Argentina. Police are saying that he fell from the third floor, but this morning, the Buenos Aires Security Ministry said in a statement, Payne had jumped from the balcony of his room. Police rushed to the hotel in response to an emergency call warning of an aggressive man who could be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Authorities have not said if drugs or alcohol were involved yet, but in the call, the hotel manager says he breaks things up. He is tearing the whole room apart. The manager said that they needed someone to be sent to us urgently, as staff didn't know if the guest's life is at risk. Photos of Payne's hotel room showed a smashed television. Fans are in shock.
I'm completely broken. All of this is part of my childhood. I grew up with his music, with the band. Me and my best friend went through a lot as a child. Those moments with my best friend, listening to his music.
Payne entered rehab in 2022 and a year later announced that he was sober and a better dad to his son Bear. Authorities are now investigating the circumstances of his death, and they are conducting an autopsy. Payne was 31 years old.
Time is 6:18 here in the WRAL Live Center. Good morning. I'm Chris Lovingood, giving you a breaking update from the Biden administration within the past hour, announcing it has canceled student loan debt for an additional, it looks like, $4.7 billion specifically in additional student loan forgiveness. And this is affecting more than 60,000 public service workers. But what this has done is exceeded the 1 million threshold for people who were canceled their debt through the public service loan forgiveness program. This is something that affects firefighters, teachers, nurses, and other people who have chosen to serve the public as a profession. The PSLF program actually started during the George W. Bush administration back in 2007. But years of some struggles led to only about 7,000 people having their loan forgiven until President Biden began to use that to help people right now trying to get their loan canceled.
All right, Chris, thank you. 6:19 now, and when I saw Elizabeth this morning, we both just chuckled because, yes, look at this. I call this business on top and pleather on the bottom. But I also wore my puffer coat this morning because it is chilly out there.
I did too. Oh my goodness, it is really chilly. Potentially in some places the coldest temperatures that we've seen so far this season. It's the first time that we've had a frost advisory for sure. Look at this beautiful shot here. The moon peeking through some clouds here over North Hills. We're looking at, of course, the cloud cover affecting our temperatures this morning. Clouds tend to act as an insulating blanket, and so we don't see the temperatures cooling as quickly down here on the surface. And so that's why temperatures are mostly in the 40s right now. 41 Roxborough and Henderson, 43 Lewisburg, 45 in Rocky Mount. And we're going to run out of time here shortly. We get maybe another hour of cooling before we start to see the temperatures bottoming out and then climbing again. Check this out, 36 in Siler City. Over here in the Sandhills, this is where skies are clear, and most everybody else seeing some cloud cover where temperatures are in the 40s. We've dropped to 34 now in Sanford. It's 39 in Southern Pines. So here in Lee County, you've got a pretty good chance of seeing some frost. Of course, Robin's sitting at 36. A little warmer there in Southern Pines. Rayford at 35. So it's our Sandhills counties, not Fayetteville, that will end up with the best chance for frost. So that's going to be Chatham, Lee, and Moore County. Even down in Hoke County, we've got a decent chance of it. It's less likely from Durham northward, and of course for the rest of the viewing area, we weren't under the frost advisory to start with. Our average first fall freeze happens the last week of October for most of us and the first week of November for some of our southern and eastern counties. And it may be cold again tonight. We have another chance for frost. It will be clear tonight. The reason we're seeing cloud cover right now is there's a low pressure system sitting off the coast and it's feeding some clouds in. We won't see that tonight, so it is likely to be colder. This afternoon, it's chilly. Temperatures will be in the low 60s. And then after that, we begin a warming trend. Tomorrow, 68, Saturday, 71. So the first 3 days of the fair are looking beautiful. We'll see sunny skies, but we are likely to have some chilly temperatures. The blue shaded area is where temperatures are well below normal, and that's what we're seeing right now. But we get into next week and our wind shifts to southwesterly, and it starts to usher in some much warmer temperatures. We'll start to feel that as early as Monday or Tuesday. And for most of next week, a good chunk of the country has a good chance of above normal temperatures. We're checking the tropics. The potential for this system to develop into a tropical system continues to drop. It's back down to around 30% now. So we're not too worried about it affecting the United States. Matter of fact, it's unlikely to develop at all. Look at this warming trend. We could see temperatures at almost 80 degrees by next Wednesday. So a big warm up heading our way. What do you think about that, Ken?
Someone's trying to make a comeback, but we're not having it. We're
We'll see what we can do.
All right. Here's what you can look forward to as you get ready to head out this morning. Our friends at Raleigh Wake 911 reporting this incident here on Blue Ridge Road in the southbound lane near Reedy Creek Road in the Cary area. Not causing any problems in that area whatsoever, so that's good news if you have to navigate that intersection this morning. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, all the major roads are delay-free this morning. So let's head outside and look at one of those major roads, I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Traffic flowing nicely in both directions. If you're getting ready to hop in the car, take us with you. Listen to us on the radio, 101.5 HD3, anywhere in the Triangle. You can also listen to us on 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Tickets to Pullen Park's Holiday Express are sold out, but you do have a second chance if you want to get in on the action. Now you can still get your hands on those tickets to the experience.
Plus, a truck crashed into a pond on NC 42 in Johnston County. The factors authorities are saying led to the crash.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
A viral fan edit of the poster for the upcoming Wicked movie is raising the ire of the Wicked Witch.
Pretty interesting here. Ken Smith's now with What's Trending on our Thursday. Ken.
Yeah, Jeff and Renee, a fan edited the poster to bring actress Cynthia Erivo's witch hat over her eyes. That makes it look more like the original logo for the musical. In an Instagram post, Erivo called it offensive and degrading.
Well, she also said our poster is an homage, not an imitation, and to edit it in this way would be almost as if they were erasing her. And so she really took it to heart. Wicked comes out November 22nd.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hey, Hunger Games fans will be excited about this, but they'll have to wait until March for the next Hunger Games book. But we're getting a look at the cover. Sunrise on the Reaping will be set 24 years before the original Hunger Games trilogy began. This will be the film, this will be the 5th book in the series, rather, and a movie adaptation is already planned.
Popularity of the prequel lives on, certainly, and the narrator, they're given a little bit of a snippet. They will not use my tears for their entertainment.
Ooh.
Sneak peek right there.
Right. Looking forward to that.
Thanks, Ken. We're just a few hours away right now from the start of the 2024 North Carolina State Fair. We'll tell you what you need to know before you join thousands of others who will be making their way through those gates today.
And it's a chilly start, but only part of the viewing area is likely to see frosty conditions. I'll show you where and why.